Okay guys, this video is going to be about least common multiples, which is the last skill that we're going to have on your exam. Remember that your test is going to cover adding and subtracting fractions that have the same denominator, adding and subtracting fractions that have unlike denominators, and then also there is least common multiples. So let's just jump right into this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give this a title. And what I would like is for everyone to take notes with me or walk through these problems as you're watching and viewing the video. Okay, so least common multiples are really important because least common multiples help you to find the least common denominator when you have fractions. Okay, so as you can see on this worksheet, if you got a chance to print it out, is they ask us, find the least common multiple. That's what LCM stands for, and it's given right here in the parentheses. So they want to know what is the least common multiple of 4 and 6. So what you're going to do is list all your multiplication tables for the 4 family. Okay, so they did 4 times 1, which is 4, 4 times 2, which is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 16, 20, and so forth. Just keep adding 4, add 4. And then they listed all the multiples in the 6 family. So 6 times 1, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18. So as you list these, you notice that their least common multiple, you got 4, 8, there's a 12, and then you have 6 and 12. So the answer for the least common multiple of 4 and 6, the answer is 12. Okay, so that's just one quick example. I'm not going to go over too much with prime factorization because I don't want it to be confusing. We're just going to use this method here where we start listing the multiples of the two numbers that they want us to list, and then we find the lowest common multiple. Okay, so I don't want to go over the prime factorization method. I just want to do listing the multiples and then finding which one they have in common. All right, so let's jump into it and let's look at number 1. Okay, so I'm going to transfer over to another paper to show the work, and then I'm going to come and put the answer right here. All right, so they want us to find the least common multiple of 20 and 30. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 20. 20 times 1 is 20. 20 times 2 is 40. 20 times 3 is 60. And then we have 80. And then we have 100. So I say the first step is to always list the first 5 multiples and then start looking at your comparison. So now let's list the multiples of 30. So 30 times 1 is 30. 30 times 2 is 60. Add 30 more, we get 90. Then we get 120. And then we have 150. So now when we compare the multiples for 20, the multiples for 30, you'll notice that 60 is their least common multiple. So I'm going to circle 60, and so the answer to this is going to be the LCM, we can just abbreviate it, is 60. That is their least common multiple. So for number 1, the answer is 60. Okay, good deal for that one. All right, so now I'm going to probably just work through the odds and leave the evens for you guys to do, and if you have any problems, just message me through Remind. Okay, so now let's look at 8 and 12. So now I'm looking at 8 and comparing it with 12. So I'm going to start listing the multiples of 8 and 12. 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, 8 times 4, 8 times 5, and then 12. 12 times 1, then 24, 36. And again, the only way that you can get good is, again, write them over and over and over again. All right, so now when we compare our 8 multiples to our 12 multiples, as you can see, 24 is the least common multiple. So it's really that easy. We're just listing the multiples of the two numbers, and then whichever number is the smallest that they have in common, again, this is a 4. That's the answer. So for number 3, the answer is 24. Okay, we'll keep going. Let's look at 5 and 7. So now we're looking at 5 and 7. We'll start listing our first 5 multiples of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 7 times 1, 14, 21, 28, and then 35. Now, as you can see, when I compare these first 5 multiples, I do not see anything that they have in common. So at this point, I have to keep going. So now I'm going to just do, 3 or 4 more of my 5s. And then what do you know? 35 is the answer. So our least common multiple of 5 and 7 is going to be 35. So I don't want you to overcomplicate this, and I don't want to make it that it's hard. It's just knowing your multiplication facts over and over again. Okay, now this one's really easy. Now sometimes you can just multiply them and you get right to the answer. So the answer for number 7, just very quickly, so I don't have to list them, the answer is 6. So the least common multiple of 2 and 3 is 6. Now what happens if we have 3 of them? All right, so now let's look at the least common multiple of 6, 8, and 10. So if we start listing for all 3 now, we have to list the multiples for all 3 of these. So we're going to 6, 12, we just start listing them out. Then we have 24, 30, 36, and I'm going to carry a lot of these pretty far out. Okay, after 48 becomes 54, 60, 66. I'm just adding 6 every time. Then we'll have 78. After 78, we would add 6 more to this and get 84. 84. Add 6 more, we get 90. Okay, so I'm going to stop there for a second. And then let's try the 8s. So we get, now you know this one's going to go to 90. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. The 8s, 8 times 1. So there really is no hardcore methodology, but just to keep listing your multiples until you find a match. So after 48, it's going to be 56, then 64, and then 72, 80, 88, 96, add 8 more, 104, 104, and then 112. Add 8 more, 120. Okay, this one we notice we'll do 110, then we get 120. And this one, what I'm going to do is just a little bit is come down, and on the 6s I'm going to continue on. Then I have 96, and then add 6 more, and I get 102, then 108, 114, and then 120. So as you can see on this one, I notice that I have 120 here, 120 for the 8s, 120 for the 10. So for this one, this is number 9. The LCM is 120. Okay, the LCM for this one is 120. So on this one, you know, I already wrote it down. We have 120 for number 9. For number 13, I have 30. Okay, and this one's pretty straightforward because if we start listing our 2s, listing our 3s, listing the 5s, the answer is 30. This one, the answer is 10. Okay, this one for number 19, I got 36 because again, 9 times 4 is 36, and then 36 times 1 is 36. Okay, so all that's left on here for number 11 and number 17, all the rest of these, we have the answer. For number 11, you're going to also get 120. Okay, so I didn't want to take too long doing that one, but again, just list them out. This one is really, really high, so I'm just going to give number 17 away so you don't spend too much time on this one. The answer to this one is 900, so this one doesn't seem like a least common multiple. You have to go away. So for number 17, again, do not even work this one out because it would take a while. Just go ahead and put that the answer is 900. So that concludes this video. And again, what I want you guys to do is work on the evens. Remember, take your time, be very careful, list your multiples of each of your numbers, and then find their least common multiple. Let me look over my answer key for the evens and see if there's one that has a really high answer, and give the answer away for that one. Let's see. Oh, for number 18, don't do this one either. For number 18, the answer is huge. It's 9,800 for number 18. So don't do number 18 and number 17. Just fill in the answers. You would just have to be very careful with how you're computing Okay, and I'm trying to find and see if there's one more. Number 12, I'll give this one away too, 385. So for the rest of them, do those. Good luck. If you have any questions at all, make sure that you message me through Remind. This video again was over least common multiples, and so make sure that you're getting stronger with your multiplication facts. Okay guys? All right, see you guys later.